Whoa, the Mustang GTD may have its throne taken by the Corvette ZR1X. Hey guys, I'm Austin. Welcome back to the Speed Phenom YouTube channel. Today, we have to break down the latest news right now about how the Corvette team is aiming their sights on that Ford Mustang GTD. Will they take the throne? Will they take the crown as the most powerful and fastest American car on the Nurburgring? There's so much we gotta go over today in this video. Everyone is talking about this online. Everyone, Road and Track Magazine, Autoblog, and more. Everyone is talking about how Chevy is trying to put down a new lap record. Will they beat the GTD? Also, will some of the claims be true about it beating hypercars such as the AMG Project 1? Today, we're going to break it all down, so make sure you stay until the end because we're going into engineering and more about what it takes to put down a fast lap time. But first, if you need any PPF services for your vehicle, and PPF is that clear film that goes over the paint job of your car that shields it against rocks and more. It's hydrophobic, so water repels right off it, and then if you go to, if you got a scratch on the film, it'll even self-heal outside. So you're really protecting the entire paint job of your car like a screen protector on your Apple iPhone. So if you guys need anything, give us a call at 760-496-8607. We have our special discount code on the screen right now. Back to the main topic of today's video, the breaking news. The breaking news is all about what we've been seeing online. Now, my phone's been pinging here and there lately. People are talking about how one of the test drivers for the ZR1 said recently about how he thinks this car is going to do like a sub 630 lap time. I heard that one. I heard a few different things online about where people think this car will stack up because it's got crazy horsepower. The way they're looking at it is this. They're going, okay, if we consider, I have the Z06 Willow Springs lap time on my screen right now, and I'm like, oh, there's our video. Anyways, if we consider the C7 ZR1 Nurburgring lap time, according to different sources, the vehicle did like a 7-minute and 4-second lap time, okay, at the Nurburgring. So with that 7-minute and 4-second lap time achieved by one of the test drivers of the Corvette, they stated how they think it could have done a 657 on warm tires. Actually, this is just my track side of me going, I'm like, a full 7-minute lap. That's cooking at the Nurburgring. I don't know how tires couldn't be warm after 7 full minutes. 12 miles of driving on track. How tires can't be warmed up by then, but hey, that's just a track driver to me. I just think you can't look at lap times, whereas, okay, C7ZR1 did a 7-minute and 4-second lap time. The Porsche GT3 RS did a 6-minute and 49-second lap time on the 20.8 kilometer layout of the Nürburgring. This vehicle has 500 horsepower. The ZR1X is gonna beat it because it's got 1,250, or the ZR1's got 1,064. I think the ZR1 does have what it takes to put down a new record at the Nürburgring. It's got so many crazy upgrades, right? But people, you can't discount how good this car is. If you haven't seen our test on the channel with the GT3 RS, make sure to check it out. It's a really good video, actually. Let's just type it down. GT3 RS versus GT4 RS Speed Phenom. We went out to Thermal Raceway, and I drove both cars on the track. This is the GT4 RS, and I'll turn it down a little bit. There we go. And this is me in the GT3 RS. The car has got so much grip. It's got 1,890 pounds of downforce at 177 miles per hour. I'm stating this because the purpose of this car is all about downforce, balance, grip, horsepower, all these things polished out as a package. And you can actually see, you missed it, or you might have saw it, the wing moved and fluctuated when I hit the braking zone. So this vehicle with the suspension on the steering wheel, do you see those colors right there? You can adjust all sorts of different parameters for your suspension, such as compression, rebound, and for a track like the Nürburgring, this is a very critical thing. You can really adjust your car, even on the go, for different sections of the track to optimize your lap time. That's crazy. Most cars aren't like that. I don't know any other car that's really as advanced as this when it comes to customization. You can control your differential rates and more, but it's important to note that this car having 500 horsepower doesn't mean that ZR1 having 1064 horsepower, the ZR1 is instantly faster. So I want to point out a few variables that you guys should keep in mind. This is a ZR1X again. It comes standard with the aero from a regular Z06. You can get the upgrade aero. If I scroll down, there's a shot of it right there. It's a massive big wing. Here's the carbon fiber aero package right there. It's huge. It's huge. So it's important to note the following. If I go to this tab right here, the GT3 RS makes 900 pounds of downforce at 124 miles per hour. Okay, remember this. 177 mph generates 1,895 pounds of downforce. There's actually an equation here if we look at to calculate downforce. You just need to know what pounds of downforce you generate at a certain speed, because downforce is proportionate to speed. So if we type down how much downforce does a car have at 124 mph if it makes 1,895 pounds of downforce at 177 mph. And let's see if this number is similar to the quoted number right there, approximately 900 pounds. So that's right there with the quoted numbers for the Porsche. If we type this down now, we go C8 ZR1 press room. I was recently looking at this. Here's where it says the downforce number. Purposeful carbon fiber aero package creates over 1,200 pounds of downforce at top speed. Well, it says right here the top speed is over 215. This is before they quoted the 233 mile per hour top speed. So let's just go off that number, because let's just say they got that downforce number when the fastest they went was 215. And that could make sense because the lower wing car would go 233, and I would assume the higher wing car would stop at around 215, maybe 220. I could be wrong. Let's just calculate that, which I did a second ago. And if a car produces 1,200 pounds of downforce at top speed of 215, it says it would make, at the end of the day, around 800 pounds of downforce at 177 miles per hour. So this car would effectively make less downforce at 177 miles per hour than the GT3 RS makes at 120 miles per hour. Let me ask you this question. What is the average corner speed on this track? Well, let's go back to the video of the 3RS, shall we? Let's go full screen. Let's skip. He's going 220 kph. Is he going 170 right now? No, this isn't 170 miles per hour. The average speed, because if you look at kph, it's not quite double mph, but it's quite a bit more. You're gonna have way more effective downforce at around 120 to 150 than you would at 180 to 215, because you're not gonna be going that fast. Please keep in mind, guys, that the downforce levels of this car is still much higher than the ZR1. The next thing I want to point out on why I think the lap time that people are saying it's going to put down like a 620 or sub 630 may not be the case is because of the Rimac Nevera. This is going to be an interesting one. I know you're thinking, you're probably going like, what? What is this guy talking about? Let me show you. If I back out and I go here, I'll type down Rimac Nevera Nurburgring time. With a pro driver, this car set the production record for an EV at the time. It was achieved on the same tires as the ZR1X and ZR1, same tires as the GT3 RS. It was a 7-minute and 5-second lap time. You're probably thinking, ZR1 did that years ago. What I'm trying to show you is that the Rimac Nevera goes 0 to 60 in 1.74 seconds and does a quarter mile in 8.23. We know the ZR1X goes 0 to 60 in sub 2 seconds and down the quarter mile in less than 9 seconds, right? So the claims that those two numbers would indicate the fastest time ever on the Nurburgring isn't the case, because what I've found going to tracks for years, oftentimes the cars with the most horsepower are not always, they're not the fastest cars on the track. Oftentimes they can be, but other times they're not. So horsepower does not equate to the fastest Nurburgring time ever. I'm just pointing that out to you guys. So when you look at the AMG Project 1, which will do Nurburgring 20.8 km lap times. This is a new standard, by the way. Project 1 did a 6:29 or 6:30. I thought it was on the other layout. Okay, here's what it says. I could have sworn the time was like a 6:35 on the 20.8 kilometer layout. Let's see. Nurburgring full times. So I think, okay, this is closer to being accurate. Yeah, I think this is it right here. So the Project 1 did a 6:29. The Black Series did a 6:48. The 992 GT3 RS did a 6:49. The GTD did a 6:52. These are crazy lap times, guys. Crazy lap times. I think the car has what it takes to put down a new record, probably. But I don't know how you could believe you're going to drop 20 seconds off a 911 GT2 RS with a Manti package, or 20 seconds or more, let's say even 10 seconds faster than an AMG GT Black Series. Even 10 or more seconds off a GT3 RS when a carbon fiber Mustang with spool valve shocks, custom made for Multimatic and DRS and all that crazy wide, tire patch of Cup 2Rs. It only did a 6:52. Okay, so people are underestimating what it takes for a fast lap time here. One final point I want to mention is that this GT3 RS weighs a little over 3,000 pounds. Okay, how much does the ZR1X weigh? Let's see. We know that the ZR1 weighs 37. That's dry weight. See, it doesn't count. Let's say this. Let's say E-Ray weight. E-Ray curb weight. This car, again, that's not accurate. That's dry weight again. So these guys weighed it. Curb weight, Motor Trend E-Ray is about 3,912 pounds. We know this vehicle has more upgrades on top of the E-Ray. So minimally, I would say it has a 4,000 pound curb weight. I'm saying it because you have 10 piston brakes. I'm saying it because you have more aero. And I'm saying it because you have more cooling. So with the ZR1X, 4,000 pounds, maybe 4,100 pounds. Compare that to this, 32? Yeah, 3,200 pounds. There's a lot of different things here, guys, so please keep in mind. Here's why I think people are underestimating how hard it is to put down a fast lap time. And this is why I think it's even more impressive that Ford, on their first attempt of going out, or their second attempt really, yeah, on their first attempt they went sub-7 minute, that they put down such an incredible lap time with this car. So they deserve a lot of credit. Porsche deserves a lot of credit. And just because a car has the most horsepower ever, doesn't make it the fastest car on the track. Finally, you could be the fastest car on the track, but it doesn't mean your car will last with those lap times. There's a lot of elements with tire degradation and more, which we'll touch base on that in a future video. But this is just my feedback on why there's more to a lap time than just doing bench racing and running numbers. There's way more. And there's diminishing returns the faster you go. Again, guys, if you need any services here from our studio on the beach of Carlsbad, California, make sure to give us a call at 760-496-8607. We'd love to take care of you here for our PPF or other services. I hope you enjoyed watching this quick just breakdown video during the speed show here in the office. I can't wait to do more track tests and more videos. If you haven't seen the last one, we did a track test of the GT2 Stradale versus the MC20 on Coda. I love driving on that track. Check it out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe, hit the like button, and let us know your thoughts down below. I will see you later.